Hey everyone. All right. Normally I wait for people to hop on and just see how everybody is doing. And once eyeballs hop on, then I'll get going and speaking. So, anyways, while people are all hopping on, I'd love to see what are you guys up to? I know it's Sunday, fun day, or Sunday, rest day, whatever you want to call it. Who's all on? What are you guys up to? Anything new, exciting? So hopefully I'll try to make this quick. You know how Ashton does quick. But I just felt like I was sitting here trying to figure out what to put on my Facebook. And usually that doesn't happen, right? I usually just post whatever I want. But I started looking at my pictures. I started looking back at my pictures when I was 21 and then just kind of going through my albums throughout the year. And I was going to make a post with a picture of me when I was 21 and a picture of me now and kind of just speak on my journey as far as kind of my life. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do a video. I don't know why, but videos definitely for me are a lot easier. I feel that better than just me typing it out. So, I will post the picture though for sure later on. So I'll have a picture of kind of when I was 21 and then kind of throughout the journey and now and everything. But what I really wanted to speak on is I kept hearing or, seeing like, you can have progress or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. You can have either or. And I think back to the person who I was when I was 21, just so stuck in this world and everything, and how my life has completely changed and stuff. And I mean, I used to be a partier. I had kids at that time, so if I had a babysitter, I'd go out. It wasn't something that I'm like, okay, I had to be out every weekend or this or that, but I did go out. And when I went out, what'd we do? We went to the bar, we got wasted. That was life. It's kind of our surrounding area. That's what it's, that's what it is. I'm not sure where it is in your area, but I mean, I'd be curious to hear about it. I know that each place has its own things and stuff, but I'd be curious to hear what the majority of people do and if it's really everywhere. But anyways, so that was my life. And, obviously I gained weight with being pregnant and everything, or my pregnancies, but it wasn't until I had back surgery that I was like, okay, I want to get healthy and fit, be healthy for my kids and be able to take care of them and stuff. And so that was the first change that I started to make. So I made a decision to get healthy and fit and to just start to change my life. And I look back, though, even when I made these changes, I'm like, okay, I took a step forward, I started making these changes, and I was getting healthy. I lost 100 pounds. I was doing this personal development. I started gaining more patience. I started gaining more organization, which organization is not my thing. Just not. But I'm like, oh, I've done so good. And then each and every single time that I look at my life, I'm like, oh my goodness. I used to think that I was, I made so many changes at that time when I first started my health and fitness journey. And then I'm like, I made so many changes just in the last 6 months. And I just feel like I need to speak on that because I even have family members who think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I'm not afraid to look foolish. I'm not afraid to speak on the things that, how my life has changed and what I feel now, and, just speak my opinion on what I feel is important and what I value and everything. And so some of you guys know I'm hardcore in my faith. I am hungry for learning more about God, and I'm hungry for a relationship with Jesus, and that's just because I've seen how he has moved in my life, and I just want to share that with you guys because it started with that health and fitness. So I really reach out to people to help them with their health and fitness because I know that that was the start of my journey. You know, we do a lot of accountability in our groups and everything. So we grow in our faith in this journey as well too. But it started with that health and fitness, and then it started with growing in personal development. And then after the personal development, I grew this confidence, like, and this pull. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I just wanted to go to church, but I was so afraid to go to church because, let me tell you this. This girl knew that there was something big with Easter and something big with Christmas, but I had no idea what was what and what it was all about. Yep, that was me. Some of you guys are probably like, seriously, Ashton? Like, yeah, no, seriously, I really didn't. And I was afraid that I was going to go to church and I was going to be judged. I felt like I was going to go there and not knowing anything about the Bible, not knowing anything about this and that, I was going to be judged. But because of my transformation physically and growing more in my personal development, I grew the confidence to go to a church down south when I was on a vacation. And I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is church? Because from what I knew, when I was younger, like, we didn't go all the time. It was like stand down, sit, or sit down, stand up. Like, I didn't understand a word that was coming out of your mouth situation. And I was not going to go to that. And so when I went to this church, this music just going, and you could just feel this joy and just like, I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? So I started listening to lifechurch.tv, where Craig Rochelle, Pastor Craig Rochelle would preach and everything. And these people, what happened was the first time that I went, this guy was talking about how, like, yeah, his high school days, he was getting high and this and that. I'm like, you were what? I'm like, you just did not say that. You can't say that at a church. You can't, no. And then I come to realize that it's just real people. Like, it's not about perfection. And I think a lot of us kind of have that misconception that don't know, that don't go to church, that we have this misconception of we're going to go and be judged, that we're going to go and they're perfect and everybody's so wonderful and great and their life is like, we just have this complete opposite misconception of what things are truly like at churches. And at least from what I've understood. So anyways, I started posting out on my Facebook about this church, and a friend invited me to a church here, and she's like, hey, I see you've been doing that. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, not really. Like, I didn't want to go. I was so hesitant, and it took me a little while before I went. And then when I went, I'm like, why didn't I know that there was this church there? Like, I would have totally been going forever if I would have known that this was here. And when I went, I was still just a complete baby in my faith and in my journey. And it's just funny because, I went there and I'm going through this journey, and I just kind of talked about it when we had our worship team meeting today. And I explained to them how, I love to sing. And so when I was becoming a part of this team, we had to audition for it, and everything. And I was like, yeah, I love to sing. And what's your favorite part of worship and stuff? And I'm just like, or what, I think they asked what worship was about. And I'm like, I had no idea about any godly songs or worship songs. I call them God songs before. I'm like, I don't know any God songs. But they had faith, and they opened up with like loving arms, and they had me on this team. And I would go to church. I go to Word of Life, and I would go there, and when I would serve, it was me getting up on stage and singing, like, I would get to know these songs, and I started to like them and stuff, and it was great. But it's not the same as it is now. And I used to just sing and, and serve and this and that. And then all of a sudden, as I've grown, I was compromising with God in situations in my life. I really go into that, thinking like, oh, I can do this part, but then, no, I can really do this. And to let you guys all know that, how do I want to say this? So here I was, this person who used to party all the time, and I got rid of that. In instance, I would go to the bar and, I would pretty much beat the DD for people. And even that just got, like, in my gut, I'm just like, I didn't like being around it. It didn't satisfy me. It didn't fulfill me. And it wasn't until I was filled with the Holy Spirit that it, that just became a part of who I was. And like talking about my family, like when I told my dad, I was like, I don't want alcohol at our wedding. I didn't want to have alcohol at the wedding that we were going to have. And he's like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm serious. Like, I don't. I'm like, what's the point? But that's kind of a sidetrack. But so now I opened up and talked to our worship team meeting and let them know how amazing this transformation and journey has been, and how their loving arms and open arms just, loved me throughout this whole journey and continued to just minister to me. And each step has grown me into who I am today. And I'm like, it's just so amazing because, you think, of course, like, again, you mess up or you whatever, like, that you're gonna be judged. And I never felt that way with our church. Like, I was able to open up about everything in my life with my pastors, and even being a part of our group, like, I was able to open up to them and just feel completely loved and safe and secure. And it's just been this progression in life that started with getting healthy and fit, that turned into growing confident, that turned into getting to know the Lord. And just really, I can't describe how amazing it is. Like, how much, for those that I see stuck in the world and the hurt, just this trying to fulfill something in their life that you can't fulfill in any other way. And I had a friend that came to me and she's like, I had this happen, and, I'm really just trying to seek the Lord, and I lost my temper and this and that. And she's like, and then I had this feeling inside me. I'm like, that's the Holy Spirit. I'm like, it's going to try to let you know what's right and what's wrong. And, like, I just can't even imagine myself sitting there drinking. That's not me. I let go of all of that. And, I just wanted to share, like, how much my life has changed. And again, like, I know people see me speak about the Lord here, and I know that people, have seen my journey, and the person who I was, oh my goodness, I swore like a sailor. I got wasted. I mean, okay, if you want to talk back to before kids, I got kicked out of my high school because I would go to school high. Like, my life, and then even if I look at my relationships, I fulfilled myself in relationship after relationship after relationship. I have 4 wonderful, beautiful children with 4 different people. And it was something that I always wanted to feel loved, like, just fulfill myself in so many different ways. And it wasn't until this continuous progression of growth and love from the Lord and from the people at our church that I knew that you can't fulfill, like, nothing can fulfill that void or hole any other way besides getting to know Him, besides getting to know God, besides having a relationship with Christ. And I want other people to experience that and to just be, to just be filled the way that I have. And it just starts with a step. You can make all the excuses that you want in the world, You can make all these excuses like, oh, this is just the way my life is. You know, this is how I am. This is how I act. This is what I do. And it's an excuse. And whether it's a good excuse or a bad excuse, it's an excuse. And you can decide to make these excuses in your life, or you can decide to make a progress and take a step forward and just be fulfilled in all the right, amazing ways. And it's not about being perfect. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. But it's about progress. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I just thank you guys for those of you that stayed on and listened. And, you know, if you guys do have questions, don't hesitate to, you know, message me. I've had people already message me about things, and I'm more than happy to open up and share with you anything that I can to help you guys, because that's where my heart is. That's where God has placed my heart, and I just want to be there for people and love on them and minister to them. So, anyways, all right, I am going to talk to you guys later. The kids all just got here, so talk to you soon. Bye.